Hi Aries, welcome to your Master May video with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for all of your love on my return. It really does mean a lot, and I'm so very grateful for each and every one of you. So let's get into it. So the way that this is going to work from now on, you're going to get a whole lot of all of the stuff that you love, but it's going to be packaged differently, and you're going to get a whole bunch of new stuff as well. So you will be hearing from me in a frequency that you are used to, but in a capacity that is different to what you are used to. All right, so stay tuned and let's get into it. Now, for your May astrology we're going to start right at the beginning of the month. Venus, on the first of the month, Venus moves into the sign of Aries or comes back into your sign, right? She's gone retrograde, she's coming back into your sign. And it's bringing another wave of beauty and magnetism. And this time it's bringing a wave of clarity with it as well. Post retrograde, Venus is reborn. So your ideas about yourself, about value, about self worth, and the value that you ascribe to yourself is now shifted or changed in some way, but in a way that is actually permanent, I believe. Now, as I say, like at this moment in time, I would say expect a glow up that actually sticks, right? Now, on the 5th of the month, Mercury is going to come into that happens in your first house. Now, if you've been with me long enough, you've heard me say this. When a planet transits your first house, you get a modicum of control. You know, we can't affect the planets, but you get a modicum of control as to where you put your focus with this thing. Now, on the 5th of the month, on the 5th of May, Mercury is going to conjunct Chiron, Mercury is going to conjunct Chiron, and they are going to sextile Jupiter. This is happening across your first house, Mercury and Chiron, and your third house, which is where Jupiter is. As the ruler of your third house and your first house, sorry, as the ruler of your third house in your first house, Mercury conjunct Chiron is highlighting true self-expression, like true expression of who you truly are, but especially about what maybe scares you or maybe makes you feel insecure in some way. And it could relate to your daily habits, patterns, and routines, or even pets if you've got them. But in a lot of ways, this is about your mind, or like this is about you understanding on a mind level how your insecurities stop you from moving forward. And on this day in particular, because it is a sextile, there's an opportunity here for you to get ahead by really paying attention to what you're doing on a daily basis and maybe even rebooting those routines. Now, on the 11th of the month, Mercury is going to enter Taurus. This is coming into your second house. Mercury, at this point, Mercury is flying, and I mean flying, right? Um, and coming into the sign of Taurus, this is into your second house. It zips into your money house, flies through Taurus. So catch this energy while you can. Fast developments around money, around finances are likely at this time. Contracts, commitments, communications around money, finances, possessions. Remember again, Mercury rules your third house of contracts as well, and it also rules your sixth house of day-to-day habits, patterns, routines, but it's also your work. So for some of you, this could be a boost to the finances that shows up at this time, which could be really nice. It could also be that you're signing a contract that has a very long-term implication, because the sixth house also represents, it can be a debt house, right? And when you think about your rent or your mortgage, that's something that you pay over time. Now, the good news about this is that there is an increase, right? But as I say, it's going to fly. So catch it while it's there. On May the 14th, we're going to have a grand fire trine in the sky. This is absolutely beautiful. This is going to light up your sign, so your first house, your fifth house, and your ninth house, right? Now, it's also worth mentioning, I didn't say it at the beginning, but it's going to be in the description box below. Remember, whenever I'm talking about astrology, I'm always talking about whole sign tropical Western astrology for those of you that would like to know. Because this is a grand fire trine and it's happening across your first, fifth, and ninth houses, Venus is in your first house, Mars is in your fifth house, and the moon will be in your ninth house, right? So Venus in your sign, Mars in Leo, the moon in Sagittarius. This is a grand fire trine. This is a day for movement. It's a day for action. This is great for launching something or taking bold steps of action to put something out into the world. Think about job applications, think about opportunities, even lotto tickets, because the fifth house and the ninth house in the chart, they're very lucky spaces. The other thing as well, it's not a subtle energy, right? But it is bold and daring. It's full of flair and it's got all of that kind of energy about it. And it's going to get results. And it's just after a full moon as well. So there's a lot of power in this trine, right? So use it or lose it. That's the universal principle. That's on May the 14th. On May the 17th, and another thing I forgot to mention, this is it's all new, right? It's all new. So we're coming back with something completely different. If I ever don't mention the dates any of that stuff, you will find those in the description, and it's also going to be a part of the video from now on. And you'll see there's going to be timestamps and all of that good stuff. On May the 17th, we've got a grand Earth trine. This is happening across your second house of money, finances, and resources, sixth house, day-to-day work, habits, patterns, and routines, 10th house, your career, your social status. Now, the moon this time is in your 10th house of career, forming a grand Earth trine with Uranus in your second house and the South Node in your sixth house. I really love this because it's grounded, but it's also sudden at the same time. It's like there's a surprise completion or a spontaneous financial win of some kind that shows up, even though it's earth energy and even though it's earth energy, it's moving fast and it may feel intense. And it's potentially the second half of the story of whatever you set into motion on the 14th. So as we come into May the 18th, the sun, the ruling luminary in our sky, is going to come into a conjunction with Uranus in your second house. Expect the unexpected when it comes to your finances and your personal values, and even potentially around your possessions. Remember, the sun in your chart rules your fifth house. So if you've got children, something around their career or a gift, potentially even from a financial gift from a father figure, could show up for you at this time. You might change a habit abruptly. Maybe you quit something cold turkey. Very possible at this time. And this time, again, because of the energies that are in the sky, it will stick, right? Now, when it comes to on the May the 21st, the sun is going to enter Gemini. This is coming into your third house. Your mind is being lit up. Your focus is going to start to shift because wherever the sun goes, our attention goes, right? Your attention is going to shift to local matters, paperwork, communication, conversations. Contractual clarity is key at this moment in time. You might be signing papers, possibly related to fifth house matters or with authorities in some way, shape, or form. Siblings could be a help or a helping factor as a part of this, or they may be a change in your living situation. There might be a light change in your living situation that brings some kind of ease. Now, on the 25th of May, Saturn comes into the sign of Aries. It's entering your first house. This is a huge deal because it's a once in 30-year transit, right? You experience this twice, three times if you're lucky in a lifetime. So if you're old enough, think back to 30 years ago. What was happening for you at that time? What was a prominent theme that was showing up for you? I couldn't tell you, darling, because I'm far too young to know what it was like when Saturn was in Aries. Like anyone believes that. Jokes aside, right? This is bringing blessings and burdens. Remember, Saturn crystallizes, and with Venus, you glow, right? Because Saturn is an energy of refinement, but so is Venus. But with Venus, you glow. With Saturn, it's hard earned, right? You've got to do the work, you've got to do the graft. As the ruler of your 10th house of your career, your 11th house of your higher goals, visions, aspirations, and dreams for the future, this is bringing a sharper focus on your career and your long-term dreams. This is where you're getting really deeply aligned, or maybe even delving deep into looking at things from a very deeply personal lens. And it's like, what are you willing to sacrifice for what it is that you want? What is the actual goal that you are really heading towards that is important for you at this moment in time? On May the 26th, Mercury enters Gemini. I told you Mercury is at this point, Mercury is going to be flying through the sky, right? So that little, and I mean, use this energy. The whole of May, the whole of June, we've still got everything direct. You really want to lean into this because it's the, it's the first, really and truthfully. I mean, it started midway of April, but I don't count that. On May the 26th, Mercury enters Gemini, comes into your third house. Your mind is going to be sharp at this time. Mercury returns home. This is his sign in your chart. Expect clarity, insight, important conversations can be wrapped up now. You are busy, but you are sharp. Creators of all kinds, any forms of content, any forms of content, right? Like, can absolutely be bossing it at this moment in time. It's a really good time for you to edit, write, organize, or clean up your digital space. If you're looking to purchase any form of technology, this is the time to do it. May 26th onwards for the next 3 weeks. If you want to purchase technology, this is the perfect time to do it because Mercury is strong in this sign and it's in your third house, which is like gadgets. It's your phone, it's your tablets, it's, PC, all of that kind of stuff. Finally, on May the 30th, Mercury goes Cazimi in that third house as well. This is a divine download, an important message, a powerful conversation with an authority figure. The sun is highlighting this area anyway, and Mercury is at the heart of the sun. This is an idea that comes to you that is absolutely worth acting on. Now, that is your month's astrology. Let's check out your lunations. So, on the 12th of May, we've got the Scorpio full moon, which for you is happening in the eighth house. Now, remember, a full moon is a completion, culmination, or ending point. It's the fullest peak of Luna. This is where she's at the peak of her power. And because it's in Scorpio, this for you in your chart rules your eighth house. The eighth house is a very deep, very psychological, very intense space in the chart, and it's highlighting the area that rules things like secrets. The sun is near Uranus in the second house at this moment in time. The eighth house is other people's money, joint finances and resources, mortgages, taxes, debts, loans, inheritance. But it also represents your deep psychological makeup. It represents secrets, the occult, anything that has like that sort of taboo spirituality or sexuality sort of vibe to it is eighth house stuff. Now, with the moon ruling your fourth house and Uranus ruling your 11th, it wouldn't be a surprise if there were developments related to a mortgage, inheritances, loans, or shared resources in some way, possibly connected to a living situation or maybe even a long-term goal. Now, on the 28th of May, we have the Gemini new moon, and I've got to say, this Gemini new moon is absolutely beautiful. It's in your third house, it's stunning, it's deeply mercurial, it's transformational. Mercury is strong in this sign, right, in the sign that rules the new moon. It's conjunct the new moon on top of that, and it's in a beautiful trine to Pluto in Aquarius. It's sextile to Aries and Neptune, who are newly both in Aries. This is change, right? This is transformation. This is the first house, the third house, and the 11th house are all indicated and being lit up as a connection to this new moon. So any new contract, any new commitment, any new work tasks, skills, habits, maybe even some kind of learning or studying that you choose to do at this moment in time. Huge communication or maybe even financial shifts are set into motion at this time. This could be wonderful. It really, really could. So that is your May astrology. Stay tuned while we get into the tarot section of your May master video. With that said, take care and I'll see you in a moment. All right, hi Aries. Let's get into your May 2025 tarot breakdown. We're going to do so as I said, you're getting a little bit of what you love, You're getting a lot of what's new, and hopefully you're going to enjoy this. So before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the month, you have, oh yes, it's a little bit of what you love and a little bit of what's new. So you've got the Wheel of Fortune, right? What a card to come back with, even if I do say so myself, dear Aries. And look, right, well and truly, first things first, this is your, I mean, as I'm recording these, it's still your season. We're just about to leave Aries season as I'm recording these. But truthfully speaking, you know, with the advent of Neptune now in your sign, Mercury's there, we're going to have Venus come back in very soon, and then Saturn's going to join the party. It really is a time of change. It really is a time of rebirth. It really is a time for new horizons, new vistas, new understandings of everything, right? And so the fact that you have the Wheel of Fortune for the month of May, this is really not only that life itself, but the world is opening up to you in some way, shape or form, and it really is your oyster. So exciting times. And remember, this card is about luck. It's about the process of the universe bringing to fruition the things that you have set into motion. This is usually where opportunities and connections and things find you, and often, as I always say with this card, it will see you in the right place at the right time. So whatever the detours and the delays are, trust that they really are working out in your favor. For your actions and options this month, you've got the God of Cups. So this is the King of Cups in this deck. And look, actions this week, should I say, there will never be weeklies. Don't let me get your hopes up, right? Your actions this month, they really are blessed in a lot of ways. The King of Cups is really about you utilizing your emotion and your intention, but it's also about you using your intuition in a way that really sees you using your connection to the universe, understanding that your steps are guided, right? This is not really a month for you to be so over and talking about what you do. This is a month to move with intention, with emotional intention. Now, in terms of the options that are available to you over the course of this month, well, the King of Cups is really about utilizing your EQ, right? So your emotional intelligence is really what's going to get you ahead, and it's really what's going to make you stand out this month. For your communications and conversations, you have the Tower card. This coupled with the Wheel of Fortune. So aside from all of this, I do want to give you one warning, right? And it's important that you know this. When it comes to your oh my gosh, come on brain. When it comes to your car and or your vehicle, on touch wood, two things to watch out for. One, I want you to watch, like this month, just be extra cautious when you're driving. Doesn't look like much more than a fender bender, but I do want you to be a little bit extra careful. And also, if you have any problems with the fluids in your car, i.e. the water, the coolant, the oil, get it seen to immediately, right? Don't wait. If you get it sorted quickly, you will not, it won't be so expensive. But if you leave this and you think like, oh, you know, I can't really afford it at the moment or whatever, you'll end up paying through the nose for it later on. Don't do it. When it comes to your career and your communications, or should I say your career and your communications, the Tower card is surprise connections coming in, especially with the Wheel of Fortune. This is things that show up for you. This is things that show up for you in a sense of like a surprise of some sort, right? So it shows up and it kind of hits you in a way where you're like, okay, this is happening now, right? When it comes to those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, this could, especially with the Tower card, especially with the Wheel of Fortune, this could be an opportunity that comes out of your work life or out of your studies for some kind of professional advancement that you weren't expecting. It's also possible that you may decide to make a last minute change of some sort. And it's possible as well for those of you that are working on those sort of bigger projects like dissertations, etc. There might be something that needs to be adapted at the very last minute. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, This could be a really wonderful moment where you get tapped on the shoulder by a superior of some sort. Now, I'll tell you, the characteristics of this person is still waters run deep. This is probably a boss that's a little bit more stoic, doesn't really usually speak up or say a lot of things. In a lot of ways, it could be that you kind of like, oh gosh, what are they going to say to me now? And then, you know, before it's over and they say what they've got to say, you're like, oh my gosh, is this really happening? So it could be a really nice development that unfolds for you. For those of you that are retired and no longer working for those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, this could be a fast development in your business that will require you to use and lean on your intuition. And it may also see you needing to take a step or a path of some sort that you are. It's not so much that you're unsure of it, it's just that it starts to move really quickly and maybe you thought you had more time, but it doesn't look that way. All right. Now, and then for those of you that are retired and no longer working for any reason, really and truthfully, this will be some form of travel that needs to take place on somebody else's behalf. This may come up very suddenly in a way that you can't sort of anticipate or imagine. For your love and relations, you have the Goddess of Swords, so the Queen of Swords. If you are partnered, married, or in a long-term commitment, this is the final moment where an argument, an issue, or a problem that has been recurring in your relationship is now seen through to a close. Like, this is a moment where you can finally say, okay, you know what? It's done, right? Like, we've had it out. We've had the last fight about this, the last argument about it. I'm ready to move on. You're ready to move on. And we actually move on from here. It's like you find a resolution. And for some of you, that resolution may be that that the relationship comes to an end. Only you can decide which it is. But it may very well be that that's how this unfolds for you in some regard. When it comes to those of you that are single and looking to mingle and get out there, honestly, I kind of feel like there'll be so much focus on the career this month that your love life, it's not going to suffer. I think it's more just a case of you're so focused on your work and all of that it's kind of like, you know what, I'm not really focused on anything else. Like, let me do this now because this is what's important. And then you kind of just leave it at that, right? It's like maybe you have a flirtation, maybe you have a dalliance, but you're kind of not really focused there at the moment. And then finally, for your money and materials, you have the Temperance card. This, coupled with the Wheel of Fortune, is really nice because it means that first of all, your physical health and vitality is starting to really improve, especially for those of you that have been overcoming challenges or issues in some way. That could be a whole thing. For those of you that are, what's the word? For those of you that are, when it comes to your money and as in like your finances specifically, the Temperance card is really about you finding a balance point. So, and because you've got the Wheel of Fortune here, things will start to move when it comes to the resources, but more importantly, it's like you're looking at life and saying, okay, it can't just be all work, it can't just be all savings, it can't, I have to have some pleasure, some joy, some intimacy, some romance, some pleasure, some whatever it is. For a lot of you, I wouldn't be surprised if you're booking a trip this month as well. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, again, overcoming some kind of health situation, especially where it pertains to something that you couldn't really get to the bottom of. It may just start to clear up on its own. That's also not an invitation for you to ignore your doctor, by the way. But it may be that, even if they didn't find, they couldn't find an answer, it's like things start to improve, okay? And then when it comes to your home and environment, the Temperance card is bringing peace. So if you have wanted or needed more peace, that peace is about to show up for you. So there you have it, your new and improved master videos for the month ahead. You got everything, right? Everything that you need is all condensed now into one video. You want to book a personal session with me, you can do so on the links in the description of the video. If you want to take one of my courses, you can find all of that there. And as always, if you are not on my mailing list, You are not getting your Monday, Wednesday, and Friday fix of Rafi. I write 3 emails a week now. You get Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. There are special offers there that you will not see anywhere else on any of my socials. So if you want to get into that, and also if you are looking to study tarot, you can get your space on the link in the description box below. Remember, there are only 20 spaces on that course, and it is the last time I will be teaching it live because it's moving to a recorded version of the course. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic May. Take care, and I will see you soon.